So I've gotten a request from many of you guys to look at quick and efficient ways to switch IP addresses or subnets or whatnot, because whether you're at home, in the office, or in the field, you tend to use all sorts of different subnets all over the place. So, yeah, I'll start with Windows, and then I'll move over to Linux, and I'll show you once again how you do it in Linux, but we'll do it the hard way first. Now, with Windows 7 and Windows 10, there's one common thing. You need to get into the network management area of your OS, okay? With Windows 10, you can do that by hitting Windows key and X. That brings up this little menu over here. If you go to Network Connections, this will take you into your network connections. It's a very roundabout way. If somebody knows a better way to get into where I'm going, by all means, put it in the comments. Okay, so I'm going to click on Ethernet here, okay? Now, to get to our familiar territory, which you'll find in Windows 7, you click Change Adapter Options, okay? That brings up our awesome network connections windows, okay? In Windows 7, you simply go down to your network thing here, you click on it, and you'll see Network Connections, and you click on that, and it'll bring up the same window. Okay, so now that you've got your interface here, since I'm at my workstation at home, there's only one. This, again, this is the hard way. Right-click, go to Properties. All right, you're in Properties. Cool. What have you got here? If you guys are watching this and you don't know what I'm doing right here, or what this window is, then chances are you need to brush up on your networking skills. So if you click on Internet Protocol v4, because we all hate IPv6, go to Properties, and then here's the cool thing. You can change this. So this is the way that you would do it. I'm going to put in my local. I'm going to put in my local, subnet here. Cloudflare. I love Cloudflare. Okay, so yeah, once you've done this, you've essentially assigned a static IP to your computer. Okay, chances are, if you're in your office or at your workbench computer, it's going to have a static IP. All right, so if we go back in here right now and go to IPv4, you're going to see that. But there's another step. Many of you have probably not ventured so far as the Advanced button. Watch this. See these IP addresses here? Now remember, you have to have one primary IP with one gateway matched to it. It's not advised to have multiple gateways because Windows is stupid. Okay? Linux even has a hard time doing multiple gateways. So just add your subnets. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to add the Ubiquiti default one here. I'm going to go 99 because that's the one that I always use. Okay, so now I go add. Look, I'm now connected to those two subnets through the same Ethernet port, okay? Which means I can take a device and plug it into my switch, and I'll be able to access that now. You want to add another one? Let's add SAF, okay? 99. Okay, so there we go. We've just added yet another subnet. See them adding up here? Yeah, see them adding up? So now let's add yet another one. Okay, so watch. We'll go 192.168.10.99. I believe that's Dragon Wave. Okay. Let's add MikroTik. There we go. I've added the MikroTik subnet. Okay. So now I can hit OK. All right. And you'll notice, yeah, it looks normal. But if I go to status here and go to details, look at all those different subnets that I'm now a part of on the same Ethernet interface on my computer. That means that I can now access all of those subnets from the same computer. Okay, now again, this is just one way to do it. This is just so you can access a bunch of different subnets from one computer. Okay, I mean, obviously you can do this in your MikroTik as well. You can do this in whatever way you want. So okay, so now let's go to another little tool which I love so much. But first, I'm going to change my interface back, because when you're doing what I'm about to show you, you really kind of want it to be set up for dynamic. I'm going to show you a network manager for Windows that is just gorgeous. Okay, so I'm just going to go back in here and click Advanced. DHCP enabled. See how everything's back to normal? Everything's good, okay? We're happy. Now, if you'll notice here, this is a program called Netsetman. You see these presets in here? I've already got a few programmed. What these presets do, and by the way, the software is free to use if you're using it for non-commercial. If you wish to purchase it, I will be showing you the website for it shortly. And it's only like 40 bucks Canadian, which is like what, like $3 American, or like, you know, like $1.50 UK. I don't know. But anyway, so you look here. I've got DHCP. I've got my UBNT default, my Critic default, whatever, and I think I already showed you guys whatever before, but you'll be seeing it later on in this video for my Linux section. SAF, Dragonwave, okay? So if I click on one of these, this will change my IP address over to the preset. It's very, very handy. So now, instead of having to go into my, you know, my Ethernet interface, I can actually click on this little guy, and I can instantly change my IP settings. It's really, really, really handy. Being a Linux user, I'm used to the Linux Network Manager, which does exactly the same thing. My apprentice actually found this tool himself on the internet and showed it to me. So I'm like, wow, this is sweet. All right, so to get into Netsetman, I just clicked on it, clicked on Netsetman. That brings up the interface. If you actually, if you click on it and hover over it, it will show you your information about your interface, which is handy as hell if you're trying to determine if a radio's on a 10 meg half or 10 meg full because the PoE's toast or a bad cable or a bad head, whatever. Okay, really handy. Okay, so now we're into Netsetman. Let me do that one more time, actually. I'm just going to click here. Okay, and this works in Windows 7 too, and I think it's good for XP too if you're one of those psychopaths. All right, Netsetman. There's our presets. I believe with the free version you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it'll actually do 9. If you go with the licensed version, again, it's like 40 bucks Canadian or something. Very worth it. Support the development team, okay? These guys are awesome. You can put as many as you want. So here's how you make a preset, okay? So when you start off, it'll actually show you, this here says click here. If you double click on a preset, I'll go to whatever. If you double click on a preset, you can change the name to it. There we go. So I can change that, right? Now here's the Ethernet interface. You can actually choose the interface that you want this to take effect on, which is handy because you can do like a Wi-Fi interface or whatever. There's a whole bunch of added little features down here, which I haven't even bothered to use yet, but look, here's what we're getting at. So I'm clicking on boobies, and we've got IP and gateway. Obtain an IP address automatically. Use the following IP. That's what we want. This is where you can program in your IP information. Bye. So, if you take a look here, you've got whatever IP address you want to put into it. So, this way you can program in your IP address, hit activate, and it'll save it, okay? So, I've got one here for SAF. I've got one here for Dragonwave. I've got one here for MikroTik. I've got one here for UBNT default. And then DHCP, because you always want a DHCP. I'm going to change the name on that back. Okay. And then once you close it, oh yeah, hold on a second here. Compact mode. Yay. Kind of handy. Full mode. Yay. It's got all sorts of neat features, okay? There we go. So once you close that, it goes back down to tray, and then here you go. You just click on it, and there's your presets. It's got all sorts of really, really handy tools built into it. And we'll go back into this just for a second here, and I'm going to go to the website and actually show you. Okay, so we're going to go to netsetman.com. You can see it right here. These guys are great. Again, it's a reasonable price for a really nice piece of software. Ta-da! If you don't see this page and it takes you to some weird, kinky, Japanese, tentacle-pouring site, you've gone to the wrong page. If you see this beautiful website right here, this is where you've got your Netsetman. Okay? Very, very handy. It does so much for you. There you go. Price. Free, unlimited. Yeah. Yeah, actually, wow, it actually supports XP and Vista. Vista's so god-awful. Okay, so there you go. That is the Windows portion of my little demonstration here on efficient swapping between IP addresses or programming just a shitload of IP addresses into your interface so that you can access a whole bunch of stuff at once. Alright, so that's that one. Okay, let me just see here. Close this. Make sure that I am on DHCP. Oh, look. I am on DHCP, and there's my Realtek PCI Gigabyte Ethernet adapter. Yes. Okay. And let's see here. Alright, so that concludes the Windows section. I'm about to switch computers here and move over to Linux, and then I'll show you how to do this in Linux. And my favorite interface, Gnome. Okay? Stand by for a moment, folks. Okay, we're back here over at my Linux computer, and I wanted to show you guys how to do this in Linux, because as I've mentioned before, if you are a network administrator or a network engineer, Linux in itself is just an indispensable tool for, well, network administration. There's too many tools that you can use on it that aren't available for Windows. It's just the internet runs on Linux and Unix variants, and you know what? You might as well just be on that OS. Okay, so anyway, I'm running Gnome with Cairo over top of it, as you can see here. I love Cairo. It's very customizable and looks very, very nice. It's also open source, which is great for all of us who want to use free software that just works. Okay, so in Gnome, of course, in most interfaces it's the same, but in Gnome you have a network manager here, which is very, very, very similar to Netman. But anyway, so I've already made some presets in here, and you can see the wireless networks that are around me right here, okay? So, what we can do here is, by all means, let me show you the hard way first, of course. We'll go to Edit Connections, okay, and this brings them up. This is pretty much the easy way and the hard way. So, I've created a preset here. You can click Add to add a preset. So, I'm going to create one called The Works. Okay, so if I go over here to IPv4, I'm going to click on Manual, first of all, and let's add an IP address, the same as in Windows. 22. Hit Tab, it takes you over. You can enter in your net mask, 24, and your gateway, 192.168.255.1. Cool. DNS servers, Cloudflare. All right, let's add another one. Okay, let's add UBNT default. /24, awesome. Okay, add another one. Let's add MikroTik. /24, great. Let's add another one. Let's add SAF. Great. See? See how easy that is? So you just keep adding IPs into this. And again, you want to pick one subnet to add a gateway to. I don't recommend having multiple gateways. It just confuses stuff. Okay? So you just add them all in here, and then you save it. We'll make sure that we're using the right Ethernet interface, of course. So I'm clicking on Ethernet, and look, there's my Ethernet interface. Awesome. And in here, you can also do all sorts of fun stuff. The Network Manager in Linux really does have a lot of cool settings in it. Of course, it's got IPv6 support just naturally. That's part of Linux. All right, so that has been saved. We have got the works. Like, oh, hold on a second here. There we go. That one doesn't exist. Now I can save. Okay, and the nice thing is it's all color-coded to show you when you screw up. So now we've got the works in here. All right. We'll go over and edit, let's see here, whatever. So I'm going to edit whatever. This is the one where I just change the IP addresses depending on what I'm doing. I can add multiple subnets in it, or I can just add one, and then I can just simply exit out of all this, and look. I click on it, and all my presets are in here. I can click on a preset, and it will immediately reprogram my Ethernet interface to whatever settings I have programmed into it. You can also do that with Wi-Fi networks. I can make like 01, 02, 03, and have each one tagged with a different IP address or configuration of whatever. It's very, very handy. So that's basically it. This is how you do quick IP configurations and presets in Windows and Linux. For my next video, I believe I'm tearing down a sector antenna. So yeah, stay tuned. But anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you like it. If you don't, feel free to mail me a bag of dog crap. Have a great day.